So here's the thing. Yeah, I see that your account balance says $500,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I see that it's your name on this account. But what makes you think that that's your money? What makes you think that all that money's yours? I mean, tell me. Maybe you know something I don't. I know that something is worth what you can sell it for and then put the cash in your pocket, right? If you have a home that's worth $500,000 and it's paid for and you sell it for $500,000, you put $500,000 cash in your pocket. But if you have a home that has a mortgage on it, something less goes in your pocket. Steve, this is an IRA. How are you going to pull $500,000 out of here and put it in your pocket? Oh, well, of course I got to pay taxes. It's like, right. So I guess you don't have $500,000, do you?
Welcome back to Retirement Today. I'm your co-host, Zach Holcomb, and alongside me we have Michael Reese. He's a certified financial planning professional, and he spent the last 25 plus years helping families get into and through retirement. And on today's show, we are talking all about the importance of generating lifetime income and some of the risk associated with not doing it the right way. And I know, Mike, we talked about a couple risks in the last segment, but you've got another one here that you're going to share with me now.
Oh, that's right. So here's the thing. This week, we're talking about this because this article came out where it was one of these academic articles that essentially said, if you think that a diversified portfolio is a good idea for your retirement planning, you are in trouble. You are hugely in trouble because a diversified, balanced portfolio, even when the markets cooperate, don't always work.
Yep.
So that's the crazy part. It's like it used to be that it always worked if the markets cooperate. Now they're saying, look, the markets can cooperate and it still might not work. So if the markets have one bad year, just one, down 20%, you are just up the creek without a paddle.
Yep.
There are other phrases I could use here.
You really like that one.
I remember my father might have said, you might be a word that starts with S and ends with T. It's 4 letters. And then it would be followed with out of luck. So yeah. S blank blank T out of luck.
Sounds pretty accurate.
Anyway.
You can say it. They'll just bleep you out.
I'm not going to do that, right? I get bleeped out too much on this show. Darn compliance people.
I know.
Oh, well, that's all right. They keep me safe. In any event, you have a number of challenges. So you talk about this all the time, Zach, where you say, hey, an investment plan is not a retirement plan. Right?
100%, yep.
An investment plan is not a retirement plan. Guess what? That's what this article should have been titled.
I know. I should have wrote it.
An investment plan is not a retirement plan because a diversified portfolio can work while you're working and you're growing and accumulating. It's fine for that. It's not fine, though, for retirement. So they talked about the risks. See, the problems you have in retirement is you don't know how long you're going to live, right? But it's probably going to be longer than you thought, which means your money has to last longer. That's a problem. We don't know what your health is going to be, right? Mm-hmm. But it's probably going to get worse in the later years of your life, and you don't know what that's going to cost. You don't know what inflation's going to be. And just one bad year in the market in the first 10 years of retirement, and it's like, if you're going into retirement with a diversified portfolio and that's your plan, it's kind of like you're a high, the trapeze people at the circus where it's like the high wire act or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't have a net.
Yeah.
Okay. Just
very dangerous.
Not the smartest thing to do.
Right.
Right. There's a fifth risk, though.
Okay.
Right. They don't talk about it in this article. I wish they would have. Zach, where do most people have the majority of their money when it comes to their retirement savings?
Well, people just do what they're told. They stuff their 401ks, their IRAs, and, that's what we're told to do, and that's where a lot of people have those savings.
That's right. You probably, as you're listening, if you think about where you have most of your money, it's probably in your 401k or 403b or 457, depending on if you work for a public or a private company. And guess what? That's usually a big pot of money that has never been taxed. So I think I've shared this story on the show before, but I think this is a good time to share it again.
I think I know where you're going. I like this story.
I'll never forget.
Yes.
A gentleman who came to my office many years ago, and we'll call him Steve.
Okay.
Right?
Steve with the fidelity statement?
Yes, Steve with the fidelity. Yeah, this is the story. So this guy, Steve, he came. I don't know if he came to one of our dinner events, or he heard us on the radio or
Sure.
TV. I don't remember where he came from, but he came to the office clearly. You know how some people, when they walk in the room, it's obvious that as far as that person is concerned, they're the smartest person in the room.
Steve had it all figured out.
Oh, yeah, he's brilliant.
Yeah.
According to him, right? And so, and he comes, he's like being almost a jerk from the very beginning.
A little bit of arrogance.
I have a simple rule, by the way. If you want to come visit with us and get a little bit of help or a second opinion, we would love to have you come visit. Just be nice. We're nice. You be nice. And it'll be a great experience. Well, apparently Steve decided he didn't want to be nice that day. Anyway, he comes in the office, and literally, as we sit down, the very first thing he does is he has his fidelity statement in his hands, and he slams it on the table in front of me. And he says, "What do you think I should do about this?" And so after kind of taking a step back here, I kind of pick up the paper and I look at it, and it's a fidelity statement, and he has an account balance of about $500,000, and he's got basically a diversified portfolio like we're talking about tonight.
Yep.
And he says, "Look, I have $500,000 in my IRA. How should I invest it? What should I do about it?" And let's be honest, Steve was just being such a jerk. Another word I might use, right? He's being such a jerk. I'm like, and I know I'm not, like, there's not a chance in the world I would ever accept him as a client.
Sure.
Because, I have a simple rule. Like, if I'm going to accept someone as a client, my simple rule is this. I want to be able to get along.
Yeah.
When I see your name on the calendar, I want it to put a smile on my face, right? Because, hey, you're a good person, we're good people, and, we're just good people hanging out.
Yep.
Steve, not so much. So, and maybe he just had a bad day. I mean, sometimes that happens, right? But anyway, for whatever reason, I said, here's a great opportunity for me to have some fun. So I pick up his statement again, and I look at it. I said, "I don't know, Steve. I don't see it." "What do you mean?" I said, "I don't see that you have $500,000 here." And, oh, boy, he picks that paper up again. He's like, he starts pointing at it, like starting to get red in the face. It's like, "What are you talking about? It's right here in black and white. 500. Can you not read?"
Yeah, are you blind, Mike? 500,000. Come on.
I mean, it's like you can't read. And so I take a look at it again. I say, "Yeah, Steve, I'm sorry. I just don't see it." And, now he's getting really red in the face. He's like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah." He starts just kind of going off, right?
He's barking? Is that what that was?
Yeah, it sounded like, how in the Peanuts, the old Peanuts episodes where, the teacher talks, can't understand her. That's kind of about what it was at this point. But he was getting so red in the face, I seriously thought he was about to have a heart attack. So I said, Steve, relax. Okay, calm down, Steve. So here's the thing. Yeah, I see that your account balance says $500,000. And I see that it's your name on this account. But what makes you think that that's your money? What makes you think that all that money's yours? I mean, tell me. Maybe you know something I don't. I know that something is worth what you can sell it for and then put the cash in your pocket, right? If you have a home that's worth $500,000 and it's paid for and you sell it for $500,000, you put $500,000 cash in your pocket. But if you have a home that has a mortgage on it, something less goes in your pocket. Steve, this is an IRA. How are you going to pull $500,000 out of here and put it in your pocket? "Oh, well, of course I got to pay taxes." It's like, right. So I guess you don't have $500,000, do you?
Yeah. So
here's the deal. You live a long time in retirement and you have a lot of your money in 401ks and IRAs. Guess what? The IRS has a share of that. And I saw recently that our national debt just exceeded $30 trillion. Ooh. That's the equivalent of $90,000 per citizen. Do you think taxes are going to go up down the road? Do you think there's a risk of that? Do you think that maybe if taxes go up down the road, that'll reduce the value of your retirement accounts?
Definitely. When
you're living longer and you have healthcare issues and there's inflation and all that other stuff?
Yep.
It's a very real threat. The financial industry as a whole just really gets me a little red under the collar.
I know it does.
Because they just don't care about people. They're out there and they all say, "Hey, All you have to do for retirement is build a balanced portfolio and just take 4% income or something. And they know darn well that a diversified balanced portfolio in retirement will fail a huge percentage of the time.
Yep.
They know it's going to fail. And they just don't care. They just keep offering the same advice. It failed in the early 2000s. It failed in 2008. In fact, now research tells us that the market doesn't even have to, it could do well and you still fail. So that's just not good enough. It so gets me upset because, people deserve better. I mean, I think about my mom and dad. My parents, my dad worked for the same company for 32 years. For 32 years, he saved for retirement. Just a middle-class guy. He's, my parents, they're not millionaires and never were. Middle-class, good, solid, middle-class people. And they just did everything they were told to do, tried to do everything right. And when they retired back in the late 90s, they came to me, and I put them in the diversified balanced portfolio because that's what I was taught. And I did it perfectly well. And then along comes 2000, 2001, 2002, a 3-year period where over that period of time, the markets lost almost half of their value. And you combine that with, 4% withdrawals every year, there's another 12% out of the portfolio.
Yep.
By the end of 2002, my parents, because they followed my advice that I got from the financial industry, they'd lost half their money. And if they had kept on that pace, they'd be out of money today. Thank goodness that at the end, by the way, at the end of 2002, I'm looking for answers, right? What could we do? And the industry, what they said to me, Zach?
What'd they say?
They all said the same thing. Everybody. You know what? Markets go up over time. Tell all your clients, tell your parents they just need to hold on.
Write it out.
The problem is that at that point, they don't have time. They can't hold on. If they kept doing what they were doing, they'd be out of money. And we had to do something different. And finally, after going to a number of conferences, trying to get a better answer, I finally had lunch. One day I'm sitting at a conference at lunch, and this older guy sits down. He had been practicing since the 60s. He'd been around forever. And, I asked him how he was doing, and he told me, man, if you think now is bad, you should have seen what we went through in the 70s, right? And he showed me, here's how you plan for retirement. Like, here's how you do it so that even when markets are going south, it doesn't matter. Your clients are still in good shape. So I applied that to my parents. I mean, they'd already lost half their money. I said, hey, might as well try something else. So we did that and did it with other clients. It started working. And then 2008 happens. But guess what? For my parents and the people I had in that plan, it worked. That's when, it's like, hey, it looked like it should work. It made sense it should work. It worked in 2008. So we're looking at this article this week talking about the risk when it comes to your retirement planning. And in this article, they basically say if you have a balanced portfolio, a diversified balanced portfolio in retirement, be prepared to run out of money because that's probably what's going to happen if that's your plan, because it's not a plan. And they actually give some statistics, right? And this is kind of interesting. They say, balanced portfolio, and you just take out 4% a year. 4%. And the markets cooperate. They never really have a bad year at all. They say there's still a 21% chance that you're going to run out of money. Whoops. By the way, if you're taking out 5%, they say that it's about 45% chance you're going to run out of money.
Oof.
How do you feel about that, going into retirement saying, yeah, I want to take 5% income in, flip a coin, 50-50.
Yeah.
Maybe my money will last, maybe it won't. Right? In my world, that's not good enough. It's just not good enough. And, oh, by the way, then the article goes on to say, what if you have just 1 year, in the first 10 years of your retirement, just one, where the market's down over 20% for the year. Just one in the first 10 years of your retirement. How does that affect the odds that your money's going to last? Well, 4% portfolio, we're saying, 20% that it would fail, 80% that it would work, right? Now it's 43% failure rate, 57% win. Basically, again, flip a coin. Maybe your money lasts. Maybe you run out of money. and the industry doesn't care, right?
Yep.
By the way, if you want 5% income, now you've got a 70% chance you're going to run out of money. That just doesn't cut it. You have to understand an investment plan is not a retirement plan. You have factors in your retirement you have to pay attention to. We've identified 5 things tonight that you got to watch out for. You got to watch out. What if you live a long time? Makes it harder for your money to last. What if you get sick along the way? What's that going to cost? What if the market has a bad year or two? How do you protect against that? What about inflation? Who knows what's going on there, right? And then what about my favorite topic?
Taxes.
Taxes. What if taxes increase down the road? Right now, our government's over $30 trillion in debt. That's $90,000 for every man, woman, and child in this country. No way that's going to get paid off. So they're going to have to increase taxes. And if a bunch of your money's in your 401k or IRA, what are you going to do about that? Well, here's the thing. We have answers for you. We can help you with that. And you may have a current advisor. If your advisor's not talking to you about this stuff, guess what? You don't have a retirement advisor. You have a growth and accumulation advisor. Maybe it's time for you to start getting more sophisticated help. See, we're huge believers. You work your whole life, just like my parents. You work your whole life, you save money. You deserve to enjoy the retirement of your dreams. You deserve that. The financial industry as a whole, they couldn't give 2 hoots about it, but we do. I've seen this impact real people, and I know how to help you. Let us be helpful. So just give us a call. And Zach, what's our number?
Mike, it's easy. It's 512-886-5850. Again, that number is 512-886-5850.
You've got to get a plan. You need to have a plan to get you through retirement, and it's not the same thing that gets you to retirement. These are 2 very different activities. All right, gang, we are up against the clock. We have to wrap up this week. It was great talking to all of you. I hope you have a great week. 512-886-5850, and we'll see you again next week.